Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Morgan Holmstrom about Skymed, which is premiering on Paramount Plus July 10th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's exciting. It's pretty crazy. I mean, we all love medical dramas. They've been around forever, but pun intended, this one's taking things to new heights. Oh my goodness. Has it hit you that it's... That did not sound very good. I'm sorry. Very cheesy. Has it hit you that it's finally coming out? It's pretty crazy. Like soon.
No, honestly, it really hasn't hit me. I don't think it'll hit me until the day of. So yeah.
It's one of those things too, where a lot of medical dramas don't really reinvent the wheel. They have kind of a workplace scenario with people saving lives and everything. This one is like, you look at kind of everything at play. This is a unique one. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. What's that like, kind of being part of a project like that, knowing the medical drama is around so much, but kind of a different, kind of never been seen before angle of the medical drama?
Yeah, it was really great to be a part of it. I grew up loving medical drama, so being a part of one was, just the icing on the cake. And doing it was in my hometown as well. I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and having it be on such beautiful locations that I'm so familiar with, and it has such a great sense of adventure and fun that I think people will really love in the show. So I love that it's different and that people can kind of see a glimpse of what it's like for these nurses in remote areas and pilots. So yeah.
I'm just curious what the mindset is when you're cast for this, Morgan. I mean, you find, like, what did you know specifically? Did you know it was a medical drama? Did you know a lot about your character? Because, like, I feel like depending on the project, you know some things and you don't know some things. What did you know when you were cast?
I knew that I was playing a flight nurse.
Okay.
And I knew that there were pilots involved, but that was about it. I really didn't know too much more than that. They just gave me kind of a couple scenes to play with for the show, and I didn't read the full script, so that's what going into it.
What was the research like playing a flight nurse?
I did a lot of research because I really didn't know anything about flight nurses. Like my dad, he worked in the medical field for over 30 years, and I shadowed a lot of nurses growing up, but never a flight nurse. So I did a lot of research on YouTube. I looked up kind of what their life would be like. It's loosely based on the creator's sister and brother-in-law. Her sister was a flight nurse. So we kind of got to talk to her, and a lot of the events in the show are based on her experiences. So that was kind of the research I did. And also they gave us training on how to be a nurse and all that fun stuff. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's so crazy. I feel like it's a lot though. Like, I feel like, like I said, flight nurse, medical drama, Paramount Plus, people are going to see it on Paramount Plus. It's a lot. Was it kind of overwhelming to like process everything a little bit, but was it overall just excitement all around?
It was a lot to process, and it was definitely a lot of excitement as well. There's its own challenges with all the medical terminology that you have to learn and all the procedures you have to learn. But I think I like that kind of challenge. I like learning new things. So it was all really exciting to me.
Morgan Holmstrom is a storyteller. That's what you do. Whether it's acting, directing, writing, producing, playing music, dancing, it's all storytelling. What excites you specifically about storytelling?
I just love telling unique stories. And I think that we have we're at a great time in film that we can do that. And we can tell the stories that wouldn't necessarily be told in other times. I play a Cree Métis flight nurse in northern communities that these stories wouldn't get really the recognition that they deserve. So I think it's a great time in film to be telling these stories, and I'm super excited for it.
You have an amazing cast on this show. I can't wait for people to see the whole cast. Ensemble casts, I feel like, they've always been around, but they've been elevated and everything. And I love that shows like this as well. Everyone has different kind of storylines and everything. What do you think so far about your experience working with the ensemble cast? Because there's like everything arguably is an ensemble cast, but there's some things that focus on it. But this one does a really good job of like showcasing different kind of characters at times as well.
Yeah, I think that everyone has such a beautiful character arc in the show, and you'll see that as the season goes on. And honestly, we were such a family on set, and I think that you'll see the chemistry that we all have on screen as well, because we honestly, truly are really great friends. We still keep in touch. Natasha, the other lead on the show, she lives down the street from me. We see each other all the time. So I think, and she was telling me about you as well. She said that you were lovely. So
awesome. Yeah, she's been on the show a few times. Absolutely.
yeah. So I think everyone had great chemistry, and you'll see that on screen. Hopefully.
Did you know her before Skymed?
I didn't know.
Okay.
We actually had a mutual friend that introduced us together. So we went for coffee before Skymed, and yeah,
absolutely. It's such a crazy thing too, where I'm just curious because like, you know, you're filming it and everything. Did you have a chance to kind of like, it's crazy, like you go film it and what it actually looks like, maybe at Video Village and everything. Like, was it not kind of breathtaking and crazy to see? Like, it's like, wow, like we shot that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the cinematography was honestly gorgeous for the show, and you know, it really shows my hometown in such a beautiful light, and everyone was saying that the skies look so vast and wide, and I think that it was filmed beautifully. So
it's pretty crazy because you just brought up two, like when I asked you about what excites you about storytelling, you brought up two of like the four things that I kind of think are the best things about storytelling. The thing that stories that were not told are finally being told is a huge one. And we've actually talked about that a lot. So I'm so happy, like on previous episodes, so I'm so happy you brought that up. How things look, like aesthetic is the greatest. Like just the directors and cinematographer just knock it out of the park. For me too, the other thing though, Morgan, is the access. Like it's crazy how like we have access to so much amazing content globally. Isn't that pretty crazy to think about?
Oh, it's insane how many platforms there are. And I think that there's really no better time to become an actor than now. There's so many opportunities for actors and for people in film in general. Yep. So I think that's, you know, a positive of all the streaming services that you're seeing nowadays.
You're acting in Skymed. You play a flight nurse. A lot of people that act are going behind the camera as well. They want to do a lot of things. They want to produce, they want to direct, they want to do a lot of things. Obviously, acting is something you're really focusing on and everything. Do you want to one day go behind the camera and write and produce and direct? Does that come to mind at all?
I would love to. I'm a person that likes to dive into everything. Yep. So like I'm writing a project right now, and hopefully it comes to fruition in a couple of years. And I would love to dive into producing and directing. It's all fun to me, all of it. So yeah,
100%. This next question doesn't really relate to Skymed, Morgan, because I feel like Skymed kind of has its identity. It knows what it is. You know what I mean? It's an intense medical drama, but I'm loving a lot of the genre bending happening in content these days. You know what I mean? I'm loving that you have like comedies that have like the dramedies, and you have like the horror thrillers, supernatural. Like they're like movies and shows that are not just one genre. Do you think, in your opinion, that is premeditated, like it's planned, or do you think it just kind of happens?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I feel like, I feel like it could be premeditated in a sense, but you know, I feel like as you're going along and you're working on these projects and you're producing it, you kind of get a sense of the tone of things and what works and what doesn't. So I know that in post, they really play around with that, and something that you thought might only be comedy all of a sudden turns into a dramedy. So you really never know. You can, and it depends on the creators too. So yeah, I feel like there's many levels to that.
Well, you know, like trends, right? Like, you know, when like there's trends in the world, like remember like hot sauce is like was a big trend, right? Everyone was like, what? Yeah, and stuff. And like, what was like there's times where like yoga at one point, yoga's always been around, but yoga was like a big trend, right? Like everyone was doing yoga. Genre bending, I feel like, is a trend now. So I feel like people are like actually strategizing and being like, I want to make a horror comedy or something. I don't feel like the movies though, like like back like a couple like years ago, I don't think someone woke up and was like, I want to make a drama comedy horror. Like I don't think it was. Do you know what I mean by that a little bit?
Oh, totally. Like I've seen a lot on Netflix as well, like that kind of that dark comedy that's you don't know if it's a comedy or a drama, and that I've seen that genre kind of pop up a lot more, where you really don't know what line it's on. It kind of like teeters between the two, so like minusculely. So that's one that I've been kind of paying more attention to and watching.
Well, another Paramount Plus show, like Skymed's gonna be on Paramount Plus. I mean, Evil on Paramount Plus is one that I watch as well. That's like really genre bending because it's like supernatural. There's the drama and everything, but sometimes it's actually really funny too. So it's kind of like one of those, like some of the characters in it kind of make you laugh sometimes. Or they have some comic relief characters and everything. Yeah. So I just find it very interesting. I think we're in an interesting state of like genre bending these days.
Yeah. I think everyone's trying to find something new and creative to do and, break off back. So I love it all.
Last question before we wrap up. People are going to be able to see Skymed July 10th on Paramount Plus. When they watch the show, what are you hoping to get out of it takeaway-wise?
I hope that you get a sense of, a brief sense of what it's like for these young pilots and nurses up in remote areas, and I hope that you get a sense of adventure and fun, and it's very sexy, it's very lively, so I hope that you enjoy watching.
Morgan, thank you so much for coming on Pop Turner to chat about Skymed. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
July 10th, Paramount Plus, and where can people follow you to keep up to date with everything? Instagram is probably the best way.
Yeah, I have Instagram, Twitter, I have TikTok. It's all at Schmorgy, so you can follow me there.
That's great. And then July 10th, we're taking the medical drama to new heights with Skymed.
New heights, July 10th.
This has been Pop Turner, youtube.com/Pop Turner for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Morgan Holmstrom from Skymed, premiering July 10th on Paramount Plus, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.